मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् ईश्वराम्बासुतः सत्यं नित्यमङ्गलकारिणं वेङ्कावधूतसम्प्रीतं वन्दे सायं जगद्गुरुं प्रशान्तिनिलयावासं बालभास्करसन्निभम् आश्रितानन्दमन्दारं वन्दे सायं जगद्गुरुं प्रेमामृतपयोराशिं विश्वकल्याणकारिणं शान्तिसत्यसमाहारं वन्दे सायं जगद्गुरुं विश्वविद्यालयव्याप्तं निगमागमसेवितं सत्यं शिवं च सौन्दर्यं वन्दे सायं जगद्गुरुम्. Offering my pranams at Swami's loving lotus feet, respected elders, brothers and sisters of my own family here. Sai Ram to all of you. I am all over the place, but always very nice to speak to own family members. It's an informal kind of a thing. Thank you, Brother Suresh, for all that introduction. Everybody knows me, I know all of you. And it feels a little odd to have my picture up there and being introduced in my own center. But thank you all very much. It's always an honor to speak about Swami because I really have to thank all of you because it takes me back in time and I relive over and over again my experiences, those incidents that brought so much joy to my life. And for that, I thank you all, because whether I convey some message of his that he has wanted me to or not, for me at least, it's one little step, maybe, again and again towards him through Namasmarana. It's a Nirantara Namasmarana that he has given me. I'm ever grateful to Swami for having chosen me to do this. I was telling somebody the other day, I was in Raleigh last weekend, and I was telling them that my biggest nightmare as a child was every time Swami came to our house, there would always, some test would have gone by, in India in school, some midterm exam or some monthly test. And the nightmare situation was that as soon as Swami came and sat down in the living room sofa, he would say, "Where is your marks card?" Not only to me, but all my cousins. So we had this horrible business of having to bring out our marks cards. And he would invariably go through every subject. He would invariably say that, "Why did you not pay attention in the social studies class when geography was being taught, which is why you have 68 instead of 98, or some such remark. And unfortunately for me, my cousins all, especially if they knew that it was the month that Swami would maybe come, they would really pay attention in class and get good marks. I would be the same, and my remarks would always say at the end of my report card, "too talkative." And this would constantly be a point that Swami would bring up and say, "too talkative. Yenduku matladtavu, teacher matladtu unte." He would say, "Why do you talk when the teacher is talking?" But that was a consistent remark. And it was a constant reprimand for me. But many years later, though, for all the times that I felt very bad about this particular criticism of Swami's of me, he asked me to speak about him. I had spoken for Balavikas training camps, gurus camps, all those things, but had never really spoken about my own interactions with Swami. I would speak about them mainly as some kind of a point to make in a Balavikas Gurus conference or some such. But when he said, "You talk about my personal interactions with me," he turned to my mother and said, "Finally, I am going to make use of her talkative remarks." So here I am. I promised to stay within the time allotted to me. But I am thankful for those remarks because now I can talk about Swami. We are celebrating a very serious moment in the avatarhood itself, where Swami declared to his own family that he was a divine incarnation. And this was in 1940. I don't have to go into any details. I know that all of you are very, very well read. In fact, I'm extremely nervous standing here, in fact, trying to say something in front of Uncle Vishwanathan and Auntie, who have been my own guru in many different ways. So we all know the actual historical moment of 1940. But my own family, my granduncle, my grandfather's elder brother, Sri Sheshagiri Rao, came to Swami in 1943. It was only 3 years after Swami had declared his avatarhood. And by the time, things began to happen there, all the family members had become devotees. My father, my own grandfather, my father's father, everyone had become devotees. But the very big declaration of Swami also, as you all know, is that famous letter that Swami has written to Sri Sheshamaraju Garu, where he says why he has come, what is his future task as the avatar. And just so as I don't misquote Swami's letter, I just have a little bit, I'm not going to read the whole letter because it is a long one, but I thought that it would be good today to just recollect what Swami says. He says, I have a task to foster all mankind and to ensure for all of them lives full of bliss, he says. And then he says, I have come to remove the suffering of the poor and grant them what they lack. Then he continues to go on to say, I do not belong to any place. I am not attached to any name. I have no mine or thine. I answer to whatever name you use. I go wherever you take me. And then he says, no one can comprehend my glory. Whoever he is, whatever his method of inquiry, however long his attempt. So it's a very small attempt on my side to give you a very, very small glimpse of whatever I had seen in my own childhood growing up and through my adult years. Once I remember in Puttaparthi, when Swami asked me, where have you been speaking? I gave him a list of places that I had spoken at. And I said, Swami, it is impossible to make people understand your glory. And he said, Naktelusu nen appude cheppanu. He said, you know that. I have already said that. He has said that in 1947 itself. He said it is like a diamond with many facets. Each facet of a diamond will give a set of rainbows when you turn the diamond. And every rainbow has 7 colors. How can you describe it? So that is this beautiful avatar that we have all been fortunate enough to have seen, heard of him, seen him, or interacted with him. So when I was thinking about today's talk, I was thinking, how can I possibly explain to any one of you, of course you have all seen him, his glory. And as I was thinking, you see, one of the statements he makes is, I have come to really relieve mankind of its troubles, to take care of them. And I also answer to any name that you may call me by. I will come wherever you take me. You go to America, you go to Australia, it doesn't matter. I just come with you. You just have to take me. And as I was thinking of that, I suddenly, as I was driving here today and in the morning, I was thinking of how have I seen Swami answering to this? And I was remembering 2 teachers of mine. When I was in 3rd grade, I had a teacher called Mrs. Mary Grant. I studied in an American Protestant school called Baldwin's Girls High School. And she was my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Mary Grant. And she was a very nice teacher, and I was a student in her class. And she knew that my father was a dental surgeon. My father, Dr. Padmanabhan, was a dental surgeon. He was quite well known in Bangalore. And one day, as a 3rd grader, she called me to the front of the class and she said, Geetha, can you ask your father if he can see me one of the days after school? I have a tooth problem and I would like to see your father. So immediately, as a little kid of 3rd grade, I was so excited, that my teacher wants to see my dad, that too as a patient. So it was a very exciting moment. Forget about her toothache, but it was an exciting moment for me. So I told her I will tell my father. I came and told my dad, and he said, yeah, no problem. Bring her with you after school, whatever time she wants to come. She had clearly told me that I will come with you when you go home after school, if he's okay to see me at around 4:30. So I think in about 2 days' time, she accompanied me. In those days, we did not have school buses and all that in Bangalore. So we came in the regular public bus, and I very proudly, in front of all my fellow classmates, stood there with my teacher accompanying me. And I, of course, if anybody would look at me, so she's coming to see my dad, he's a doctor, as a kid. So she came, of course, no question of any privacy there for her, poor thing. She came, everybody by that time knew she had a toothache. We arrived at my dad's practice. My father was seeing a patient, and I was sitting with her in the waiting area, and we were just chatting. She was a wonderful teacher who engaged the kids very well. And then my father came out, and, I introduced him, and he said, I'll take you over to the dental chair. You come on over. And he told me, you stay here, because he knows me. I'm going to come and talk like crazy in the room. And then, he treated whatever he had to do with her, and she came out. And he had given her some antibiotics or something, I don't know what it was. But then I suddenly, who couldn't keep my mouth shut, there was a picture of Swami in my dad's inner room. And I said, when you went inside that room, did you see Swami's picture? She said, no, who's that? So I said, oh, did you see Satya Sai Baba's picture? And she said, yes, I saw somebody's picture. I thought maybe it was a family member. I said, no, he's God, I told her. So she was a little bit taken aback, poor Mrs. Mary Grant. And she said, oh, is that so? And I said, yes, he's God. We go and see him every weekend in Whitefield. It doesn't matter what my father gave you, but you take some vibhuti, you will get better. I must have single-handedly brought my father's practice down. So she was very kind to me. She said, oh, that's very nice of you, but don't worry, your father has taken me very well. And I could see my father, and many of you have met him, standing behind her and glaring at me. And I said, no, it really doesn't matter. Please take some vibhuti. And she didn't understand what it was. So I explained to her, it's just ash, You just have to mix it up with water and drink it and you'll be fine. It doesn't matter what my father has given you. So because I was insisting, this poor teacher said that, okay, give it to me, and looking kind of pathetically at my dad. And my poor father had to go inside and bring out a packet of vibhuti. She was obviously never heard of Swami, Remember that this is 1964 or something like that. Nobody had heard much about Swami, 63, 64 time frame. So he gave her a vibhuti and very quietly explained to her, we believe in as our spiritual master. His name is Satya Sai Baba. His ashram is in Whitefield. And this is the vibhuti that he gives. We believe in it and we take it when we are unwell. If you are okay with it, you please take it. And I think he told her, if you're uncomfortable with it, you don't worry about it or something. Anyway, she took it and she went and she left. So then after a few days, she called me up to her desk again, and she said, can you give me your father's telephone number? I would like to talk to him. I gave it to her, and she called my father, and she said, that vibhuti that your daughter insisted that I take, I really didn't take it. But my husband, who had been diagnosed with tuberculosis, had been taking it. He said, I don't care what it is. If somebody says there is a cure, I'll take it. So every day for the past 1 week, my husband has been mixing it with water and he has been drinking it. And yesterday when we went for his checkup, the doctor said that there is absolutely no trace of any TB. He was supposed to go through treatment, go to the isolation for TB and all that. And they found that there was nothing wrong with him. He has gone through many tests. He has to go through again today and the next couple of days. But there was no trace of any TB in his x-rays. So she said, I'm a little taken aback because we have done nothing other than this ash that you gave me that day. Is it possible for me to see your spiritual master? She asked. So my father said, yes, of course, if we go there every weekend, you're welcome to come along with us. So you can imagine my excitement. The Saturday morning, we were supposed to pick her up in Residency Road in Bangalore to take her to Brindavan with us. She was waiting there. Apparently, she asked my father if she could bring a good friend of hers as well. They were both churchgoers, and she said she would like to come. She's very curious about the whole thing. My father said, please come along. So we all went to Brindavan. So the second lady who joined us was Mrs. Mercy Wesley. I still remember her so well. She would become my 4th grade teacher. Both of them came in the car with us to Brindavan, and we sat for darshan. Swami came out as usual for darshan. He looked at the 3 of us and my mother, 4 of us sitting there in Brindavan. The old Brindavan days when Swami used to come from his gate in Brindavan to the gate in the front. There are 2 gates, many of you are aware. Now there is the Sai Ramesh Hall, but in those days we used to sit in a line. So we were sitting there, he came, and darshan was over, everybody went away. My father went inside with Swami as usual, and then about few minutes later, he came out and said Swami would like to see these 2 ladies. So we took them in, and of course, they were not sure what to expect. Swami called us into that old bungalow that was there in Brindavan, and he was standing there and he spoke to them in English. One was an Anglo-Indian lady, the other was a Keralite Christian. He spoke to them. How are you? He said to both of them. And they just said that we are very well, sir, they said to him. And I remember looking at my father thinking, this is so strange, they're calling Swami sir. And Swami just looked at Miss Mary, Mrs. Mary, the teacher, and he said, he doesn't have tuberculosis. He doesn't have any more tuberculosis. Don't give him unnecessary treatment. So she was taken aback because she knew that my father had not had any time to tell him or anything like that. And here was Swami straight to the point. He doesn't have TB. You don't do any unnecessary treatment for him, he said. And then he turned to this other lady who was an older lady, very, very quiet person, and turned to her, and he said, how is Joseph? She looked so shocked, and she said, he's doing well, sir. How do you know him? He said, he is the pastor in your church in Cochin, is it not? Swami said. She said, yes. And even Mrs. Grant looked a little surprised. I don't think even she knew that Miss Wesley's brother was a pastor in the church in Cochin. And she said, yes, sir. How do you know? In the same church as your father, he said, where your father was a pastor. She said, yes, sir. And then Swami just, started to move his hands and materialize this beautiful brass crucifix. It was a little one, about 1.5 inches and so. And he showed it to her and gave it to her and said, give it to Joseph. He feels very sorry that your father passed away. Your father had promised him that he will give him his own crucifix when he becomes the pastor, but he passed away before then, is it not? She said, yes. And he said, you all couldn't find it after your father passed away, isn't this? And she took it and her hands were shaking, and she turned it around, and sure enough, at the back of that crucifix was the name Peter, which was her father. It was her father's crucifix. And she said, yes, this is his. So Swami said, yes, I know, he lost, you all could not find it. This was for your brother when he became a pastor. You give it to Joseph. He's a very good devotee, he said. And he gave it to her. And then he turns to Mrs. Grant and says, I know you lost your silver cross when you were 8 years old in your church. Here it is, he says, moves his hand and produces this silver tiny little cross for her. And says, didn't you lose it when you used to sing in the choir in your church when you were a young girl? And both of them were in absolute tears. And here they were standing in front of Swami. Swami had given them the cross that they were both attached to. He blessed them. They didn't touch his feet or anything. He shook hands with both of them. And he said, you are both good teachers. And then sent them out. Many, many years later, actually, in one of my school old students program when I went, both of them had become elderly. And I went to meet them in the school, and, I said, I'm Geetha. And they said, yes. And both of them took out the cross. Mrs. Grant took out, and she said, my brother passed away. I have the cross now, she said. And she showed the cross that Swami had materialized for them. So, he has said in 1947, I come, you can call me by any name. I'll come wherever you take me. These two people, these two teachers of mine, they had no idea who Swami was. But they took his name, they took him wherever they went. They took Jesus with them, and he was there for them. So I was thinking about how wonderful it is that when we sing our bhajans, we sing our Sarvadharma bhajans, but sometimes when we know these things, we can connect to that story. We can see Swami standing in the old bungalow. Many of you Sai students, I see S. Kumar and Sai Shravan, you've all seen the old bungalow maybe of Swami. And you can imagine with that big peacock painted Swami standing there and said, good morning, ladies, to these there, and them saying, good morning, sir. And here is this all-pervading Swami who knows each and every one of us. How beautiful it is that we are all able to sit like this and talk about him. So that was one of the things I was thinking today. And then he says, Swami says, I have come to, take the people who are downtrodden, who are suffering, who are in difficulties, moving forward. I am there for those who call out my name wherever they are. I always know them. And this morning, when I was talking to Mohanram at home, I was telling him that since I got up this morning, constantly I was remembering this one incident. It is very difficult to actually explain when I'm speaking. Swami very, very clearly has told me, don't prepare. The day you prepare, I won't help you, he said. So I don't prepare, but he has his own strange way. In the morning, when I get up and I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm going to say, there will be some incident that is just bombarding my brain. And I think, so today this incident was bombarding in my brain. And in fact, even in the car, I was telling Mohanram when we were coming, that, for me, the strange thing is I don't know how he's going to bring this incident out today, but this is coming in my brain 100 times. And the one that I kept remembering this morning was a trip that my mother made to Allahabad. I believe they have changed the name now, Mohanram told me, but I know it as Allahabad. So many years ago, when my grandfather passed away, Swami had asked my father and his siblings to go to Allahabad to do the first year ceremonies or whatever it was. So the men were supposed to go there on that particular day. And my mother and my aunt, they had something else going on. So they were going to take the train from Bangalore to Allahabad. And when they were traveling to Allahabad, I think it was a 2-day trip or something like that. I don't remember. This was in 1971. On the way, in a place called Itarsi, many of you may be familiar, it is in Madhya Pradesh in India. In a place called Itarsi, the train came to a halt. They were supposed to switch trains there and continue to a place called Katni and then to Allahabad. So when they came to Itarsi, when they were supposed to board the next train, the train staff had gone on strike. So the whole railway station at about 7 o'clock in the night or something, the next train was in the early hours of the morning, was pitch dark. There was nobody there. It was a dark railway station, and these two ladies, my mother and my father's sister, both got out of the train, and they were quite nervous as to what to do. The whole station was shut down. They were just sitting, trying to find out if there was a place that they could go. And they found that there was the station master in one area of the station, and they said, we have to take the next train. He said, no, the trains are all on strike. It may take 2 or 3 days for you, so you cannot go anywhere. So these were two ladies. My aunt knew Hindi, but my mother didn't know a word of Hindi. They didn't know what to do. At that time, it was a small place, and they had to go and look for a hotel and all that. It was late in the night by that time. So they were just talking to him. I think the station master felt very sorry for them. And he said, I will open my office door. If you want, you can sit on the chair and sleep there. Tomorrow morning, when it becomes light, you can go and look for a hotel or something like that. So they were talking, and while they were talking to him, my aunt and my mother both said, Ayo, ee Sai Ramudu em test chestadappa. They said, this Sai Rama, he tests us like this. Two ladies we have come, this time this... so when they said the Sai Rama, this station master heard it. And he said, you are saying Sai Ram? You are talking about Shirdi Sai Ram. They said, we are talking about Shirdi Sai Ram, Parthi Sai Ram, every Sai Ram we can think of. We are stuck here, two ladies. Then immediately he said, oh, I am a Sai devotee, Parthi Sai Baba. Where are you both from? They said, we are from Bangalore. He said, have you seen Satya Sai Baba? They said, yes, we have seen. My aunt said, yes, he got me married. They started to talk. My aunt knew Hindi, so she was able to talk to him. And immediately that man said, I run a small Sai center in our house. Tomorrow morning, can you come and meet our Sai devotees there? They have not seen anybody who has seen Sai Rama. We all pray to Sai Ram. But can you both come? So somehow he arranged a few people there in his house the following day. Anyway, the trains were on strike. They could not leave. No way to communicate to my father and my two uncles who were to fly that day to Allahabad or something like that. So they went there and they spoke a little bit and said, who they were, and I think they all listened, the Sai devotees there. Then they gave them some food, and one of the devotees said, why don't you stay here tonight in our house if you don't mind? So the accommodation was arranged, food was arranged. These ladies had Sai devotees. They stayed there for overnight. The next day the train service started. And the station master said that I will send a message to the station master in Allahabad so that your husbands, they are not worried. Where are these two ladies? They were supposed to be there before them. They have not even arrived here. So somehow the communication was given. So they went anyway. They finished whatever work they had to finish there. Those three men, again, they had some other work, flew back to Bangalore. My mother and my aunt, those are the days. Can you imagine all these men flying back to Bangalore and these two ladies taking the train back again? So these two ladies are back and they are in the train. Everything has gone. They are going to Bangalore. And as they are going through Katni and Itarsi, it is late in the night and they were both sleeping, my aunt and my mother. And the train stops there, I believe, for a very short time. And suddenly they started to hear some loud noise. They both wake up. Sai Rama, Sunandamma. Sai Rama, Kamalama. Sai Rama, Sunandamma. They heard the Sai Rama, Sunandamma. Sai Rama, Kamala. Who is shouting Sai Ram, Sunandamma, Sai Ram? So these two ladies put their head out of the window. And there is a whole crowd of people on the station platform. And as the train is moving, they are handing them letters, they are handing them coffee, they are handing them food in little boxes saying, please eat in the train, please give our pranams to Sai Ram. We have not seen him, So these two ladies, just at saying his name, everything was taken care of. They arrived in Bangalore with their name attached. Sai Rama, Sunandamma, Sai Rama, Kamalama. They arrived in Bangalore. Following day, they went to Brindavan. And my mother and myself, we are all sitting. Swami, the bhajan was going on. Slowly he came towards us. Sai Rama, Sunandamma, Sai Rama, Kamalamma, Sai Rama, Sunandamma. Swami is singing. He knew. Sai Ram, Swami, you took care of us in Itarsi. But before I can take care, you are all scolding me. Where is this Sai Rama? Where is he? He is putting us through tests. He gave us Pad Namaskar and sent. Before I can respond, you are in a hurry. And see how nicely my devotees took care of me. Wherever they are, my devotees are mine. Swami, they all took care of us. They wanted to hear about you, whatever they told Swami, everything. 1 year later, and then my mother said, Swami, they have all not seen you. None of them have seen you, but they have so much devotion. What is there? If they don't see me, I see them. వాళ్ళు చూడుకుంటే నేను చూస్తాను కదా. He said, it doesn't matter whether they see me or not. I see them because of their devotion. So, 1 year later, there was one big group in Vrindavan. All of them wearing some orange scarf and all that. And we had all gone for Vrindavan darshan. And from there, my Swami and my father used to come behind him. They both came out. And from there, Swami came and stood in front of my mother and me. My aunt was not there. Sai Rama, Sunandamma, Sai Rama, Kamalamma has come, he said. There's a big group has come as a pilgrimage from Madhya Pradesh. They have all come. Swami, I'm so happy, Swami. They had not seen you. Yes, they gave you so much food. They looked after you so nicely. I also felt like seeing them. I also felt like seeing them. They have all come, he said. And here they were all sitting, and Swami gave them an interview and all that. And later called my mother when the interview was over. My mother and myself and my father, and said, this was the lady, is it not? They said, you gave our... They had all written letters to Swami, I believe. Swami, please somehow make it possible for us to come and see you. We have not seen you, but we have a Sai center. So this is the promise that he has given in 1947, is it not? That he says that I don't belong to any name or form. I am with you wherever you are. And then he says, you cannot comprehend my glory. And I have come to lead all of you towards me. Those who lack in anything, I will lead towards me. So when we say all this, the first sentence that he also says, I have come to fill your lives with ananda, he says. Even just listening to his mahimas and leelas, so much ananda we get. Even when I am just narrating to you the Itarsi story, or Swami says, don't call it story, the incident, or even when I am telling you about Mrs. Grant and Miss Wesley, still those pictures come in front of my eyes and it brings so much ananda. But is it really, I have to think, is it really the ananda that we are looking for? Is it really that ananda that Swami is talking about? Just when we see his physical form, just when we see his physical presence, is that what he means? Because that is also temporary, as we have seen. Swami's form is here today. It was there all these years for me, for 60 years of my life, and then it is gone. That is a transitory ananda also, because it is very short-lived. Once he has gone, we are not able to see his physical form. For those of us who saw, for those of the people who never saw him, what about them then? Is there no ananda for them? Those who did not see him. I just went to Raleigh, like I said, last week. I was so surprised, actually. I know that many younger people, when I meet them, they say, we have not seen him, auntie. We became a devotee in 2011 or 2012 or 2013. They tell me that. And it did not register so strongly. But when I went last weekend, I was so moved. There were about 9 or 10 families, young families with small children. And they all came and said that we have never seen Swami. We have never heard his voice other than the videos and the discourses. They said that, and it really, touched my heart so much. But at the same time, I feel that they had understood Swami more. They loved Swami more, because it is not easy to love somebody that you have never seen, you have never talked to, never met. How hard is that? For me, that's all I saw. Since my birth, from my first breath, that's all I saw. Only Swami, Swami, Swami everywhere. So what is this ananda that Swami is coming to give us then? What about those who have not seen him? What about those? So I was thinking about this also. And one beautiful thought came, In 1971-72, a lot of my very, very close interactions, which had a lot of spiritual meaning for me, happened between the 60s, early 60s, and till 70s. I came here to the US in the 80s. After that, I had interactions, but before that, a lot, because I was also a young girl, especially the youngsters. When you're young, you absorb a lot more. So Swami interacted a lot, and I became a Balavikas guru at a very young age. So for that reason also Swami interacted a lot, because the whole the Sri Satya Sai program was very, very new. The organization itself was new. 68, 67, Swami had the first World Conference. So in 1970-71, the curriculum was being made for the Balavikas program in India. And these 8 or 9 ladies, I don't know, I had given the picture to Ramya. I don't know if she was able to put it on any this thing. But these 8 or 9 ladies, one day Swami called them and said, what are you all ladies doing in the house? Many of them were educationalists, and they just told about what work they are doing. Swami said, you start Balavikas program. So the first Balavikas unofficial program was started in Bangalore, in homes with non-devotee children, just neighborhood children. So when the curriculum was getting ready, 68, 69, 70, new textbooks were going to be made. So in 71, Swami started to prepare a whole curriculum with the help of Shri Professor Dr. Gokok, who was the Vice Chancellor of Bangalore University at that time. He became the first University of the Vice Chancellor of the Institute of Higher Learning later. But at that time, he was the Vice Chancellor of Bangalore University. Then there was Mrs. Shanta Divakar, who was a very well-known educationalist, Dr. Shanta Divakar, who was the head of the MES educational institutions. And there was C.N. Mangala. So many of these people, and of course, Professor Kasturi and Professor G.P. Rajaratnam, all famous educationalists of that time, very well known in Karnataka especially. So Swami had them all together, and he was preparing the curriculum to make the textbooks. So one day I had gone to Brindavan. I used to go after college, sometimes after half a day, sometimes in the afternoon. If I didn't have college, I would take the bus and go to Brindavan for darshan. So I was sitting in the darshan line, and Swami suddenly called me, hey Ganeshi, loga po. He said, hey Ganeshi, go inside. He called me Ganeshi. So I went inside, not knowing why, but all these eminent people were there. He called me into the room with them. He said, I am going to tell them what the textbook should be. You make notes. You have any books? I didn't have any books. You have gone to college. Where are your books? He asked me. I had left it somewhere in Sarojama's room, who was there. I said, I didn't bring Swami. It is in Saroja Auntie's room. So Swami went and got me one notebook. And in that, he told me to make notes. So for that part of the thing, for about 3 months, every day, whenever I could, Swami would tell me, you come on Wednesday. I would go on Wednesday and I would make notes. And for about 3 months, he used to call me Ganeshi. Where is that Ganeshi? Has she come? He would say. I used to make notes. So when this was going on, one particular day, my mother also came with me, because she had a training program for Balavikas gurus in a place called Davangere. Those of you who are familiar will know of that place in Karnataka state. It was a small town in those days. And she was going to have one of the first Balavikas gurus training camp. The education minister of Karnataka at that time was Mrs. Nagamma Keshuvamurthy, who was an ardent devotee of Swami. So she wanted my mother to include teachers from government schools, because she was the education minister, to do the Balavikas program there, along with some education. Education in human values has not yet been, it was not yet still fully formed. She said, but all the teachers, I will make it mandatory. Government school teachers, we will bring them also. So this was going to be a very big program, in which the education minister herself would be inaugurating the program. And there would be many eminent people there. Many of them non-devotees. So this was the program. My mother was very stressed out. She was organizing everything. In those days, in 71, 72, not many ladies were working out of home. So to organize a program like this, she had to interact with all the men there and make all the women come and become gurus. That in itself was a big problem. She has to convince the men to send the wives to become gurus in the Balavikas. So she was doing all that. So she came with me. She wanted Swami to maybe ask either Professor Gokok or Professor G.P. Rajaratnam or Professor C.N. Mangala, any one of these people. Anyway, they are going to be in this curriculum committee. So she wanted them to become the keynote speaker for this program, because the chief minister will do the opening ceremony after that. So she came with me. In those days, for the training program, Swami used to look at the list of all the speakers for the trainers. And he would say, ask Sunandamma to talk about non-violence, ask Kusuma Kumari to talk about truth. Like that, Swami used to himself choose. I also used to be one of the speakers for that. I used to speak on non-violence or something like that. It was a part of the training program. I used to be a trainer. So I was also there. My mother had a list. And Swami asked my mother, how is the Davangere program coming along? So my mother said, Swami, everything has been arranged. Nagama Keshamurthy is going to have all the government school teachers. I need to have a keynote speaker for the opening program. So Swami said, very good, chala santosham, cheyi, he said. So my mother is hoping that he will tell Professor Gokakar. See, that time, Davangere was a very small town. To look after these type of eminent people also, there were no big hotels to keep them. Usually they would keep them inside devotee homes. But Professor Gokak and all were all such eminent people. The devotees there were all middle class people, small houses. How to ask, my mother was feeling little uncomfortable to ask these people, can you come to Davangere? But if Swami tells Professor Kasturi, you go, Gokak, you go, they will stay wherever the accommodation is made. Whereas if my mother has to make it, there are no hotels. So she was hoping, so she said, Swami, she's showing everybody like this, you must give me one of the speakers, Swami, for the keynote speak. So I was writing down, Swami had said Kusuma Kumari, truth, Sunandamma, non-violence, something, whatever he was said, I was writing down the notes. I was sitting near Swami's step stool, to the right of Swami's step stool. And Swami suddenly said, idu matladtundle, he said, you ask her, you can take her. So I am still writing, waiting for the name, thinking he's going to say C.N. Mangala, Shanta Kumari, Vimala Sheshadri, all these famous people. I'm waiting. And there was a silence, and then I look up, Swami hit me on my head. Idu matladutundi, he's saying. She will speak. If you could have made a video, Anshu, of the expression of the people in that room, I don't know, you can, it would have got so many hits, these young people will say, on WhatsApp and other things. Gokak's jaw dropped, G.P. Rajaratnam's jaw dropped, and I am saying, Yoru Swami, Nena. Me. Inki Yoru. He's saying, who else? No, Swami, I cannot do this, Swami. He says, and my mother is loudly saying, she cannot do this, Swami. I was 17 and a half years old, 11th grade student, sitting there, PUC, second PUC or something. I cannot do. And G.P. Rajaratnam is saying, yes, Swami, she cannot do it. Gokak is saying no. Because the whole Karnataka state, the reputation is on the line. Because the chief minister is coming. The education minister is coming. All the other entourage with her are coming. Government college principals are coming. What? No, my mother said, no, Swami, she cannot speak, Swami. Do you know? And then she says, do you know what the topic is, Swami? Oh, yemi chappu. He's saying, what is the topic? Swami only had given the topic. Paramanandakke prasthana. Prasthana means journey. Paramanandakke prasthana. Journey towards bliss. Journey towards ananda. This is the topic for the training. I said, Swami, I don't even know what that means, Swami. Paramanandakke prasthana, what is ananda, what is journey, all these things I cannot speak. And my mother, Swami, this is too serious a topic, Swami. She is too young, she cannot. Why don't we ask Professor Gokaka? Swami said, why? When young people speak, even old people are inspired. Because young people have learnt a lot, while old people are being lazy. What is wrong? Let her speak. No, Swami, I can't. I just started to cry like anything. Because everybody is watching me. And all of them are agreeing that I am incompatible to this job. Unanimous vote. She cannot do this. So, I cannot. Then, this is a sweet sigh, He has come to give Ananda. That is why he has come. He has promised in 1947. He said, 15 minutes lo chappestan. What is the difficulty? In 15 minutes I will tell you. You go and repeat. Ade kada college lo chesedi, he says. That's what you do in college. Going on listening and going on in the examination repeating. అదే కదా కాలేజ్ చెయ్యిపో. లేదు స్వామి, ప్లీజ్ స్వామి, ఐఎమ్ లిటరలీ సిట్టింగ్ నెక్స్ట్ టు హిస్ స్టూల్. ఐ కెనాట్ డూ దిస్ స్వామి, ఐ కెనాట్ డూ దిస్ స్వామి. చెయ్యిపో. Finished. You know, there is a change of tone in Swami's voice. There is a point where you can discuss and try to convince him. Then he crosses that, you know there is no discussion. It's over. Discussion is over. Cheipo. Finished. Ayyo Swami, you have to, what is that Parama? First of all, there was one more problem. I am from Karnataka. I can speak Kannada, but I cannot give Kannada talks and all that. You know, this is all a big Kannada group of people from Karnataka, office bearers. I have to speak in very good and pure Kannada. I am mixing everything with English. I cannot speak in Kannada. So now I thought of a new I cannot speak in Kannada, Swami. They won't understand English. He said, how do you know they cannot understand? You go and talk. Then I said, I don't understand this Paramananda case, Swami. What is this Paramananda case? It's Paramananda. పరమానందం అంటే బ్లిస్. వైడ్ ఐ డోంట్ నో ఇఫ్ ఐ కెన్ సే దిస్. అక్కడ పోయి తెల్లవాళ్ళంతా పోయి అడుగు చెప్తారు అన్నిటికూ బ్లిస్. ఇఫ్ యూ గో అవుట్ అండ్ ఆస్క్ ఆల్ ద ఫారినర్ సిట్టింగ్ అవుట్ సైడ్, ఫర్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ దే విల్ సే బ్లిస్. యు నో హౌ దే సే క్యాంటీన్ ఫుడ్ వాజ్ బ్లిస్ఫుల్, స్వామిస్ దర్శన్ వాజ్ బ్లిస్ఫుల్, కాఫీ వాజ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ దే విల్ సే బ్లిస్. వాళ్ళు పోయి అడుగు చెప్తారు. యూ గో అండ్ ఆస్క్ దెమ్, దే విల్ టెల్. ఆ తెల్లవాళ్ళంతా కూర్చున్నారు చూడు, వైట్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఆల్ సిట్. Swami, then really, brothers and sisters, such a beautiful discourse of 15 minutes, which I am taking such a long time to tell you. Gave the most beautiful discourse. Why has he come? 1940, to give Paramanandam to everybody. So he said, Chudu, chala easy. For everything is easy for Swami. He said, see, you want to come to Puttaparthi, right? From Bangalore to Puttaparthi. Why do you want to come there? The Swami is there. Why do you want to come there to see Swami? Because you get Ananda. You come to see Swami from Bangalore to Puttaparthi to get Ananda. When you see Swami, you get Ananda. That is the journey. Ikkad nunchi akkad varaku, it is a journey from Bangalore to Puttaparthi. Ade prasthanamu. That is prasthana. That is the journey. But you see the problem in this journey, when you want to start from A to B, first and foremost thing that you require is faith. You must believe that there is a Prashanti Nilayam, there is a Puttaparthi, and there is a Swami there who will give you Ananda. So that faith has to be there. First requirement for the journey of life, you require faith. That you must have. That is God's grace also. He says, at birth itself, He has planted a seed. See, we are all here listening to me. That seed of faith God has planted due to many janmas of prayer. Seed of faith is there. Then, next thing, you decide, okay, I want to go to Prashanti Nilayam. Which route shall I take? Swami is explaining, sitting on the chair. We are all sitting, Gokak is there. Everybody is all listening. Which route is there? Tell, Gokak, which route you like? Via Penukonda, Swami. No. Ask G.P. Rajratnam. He likes Hindupur. So 3 roads, many roads are there. You can go via Penukonda, you can go via Hindupur, you can go via Lepakshi, like this. These are all small towns on the way to Puttaparthi. You can go on any one of these routes. 3 roads are there. Which are the 3 roads? Bhakti Margamu, Karma Margamu, Seva Margamu, Jnana Margamu. So he says, one is the Bhakti Marga, one is the Karma Marga, which is Seva, and one is the Jnana Marga. 3 roads, via Penukonda, via Lepakshi, via Hindupur, you choose. 3 margs, whichever you are comfortable, whichever path you like, you are choosing that path. With that faith, you have to reach there. So then you are ready. You know your path. You know you are going to a certain destination. Then what do you need when you go to Puttaparthi? You need a suitcase to take your luggage. You are going to spend some time there. Take suitcase. You know that suitcase. Then the other very nice thing he said, you need a suitcase, you need a vehicle to go. You need a vehicle. And Swami, in those days, I'm talking about 1971, right? He's saying, car undochu, eddulu bandi undochu, rail undochu, bus undochu. car and bus and train and bullock cart, any one of these vehicles you may use. You already have that, Bangaru. You already have the vehicle. What is the vehicle? This body. This body is the vehicle for this spiritual journey. And whether it is a bullock cart or car or bus or train, the speed of the vehicle depends on your past karma. If you are in a slow bullock cart, it will take you a little while, but you will reach the destination. It doesn't matter. Everybody reaches. It could be train, it could be bus, and it could be the car. So, vehicle is ready. Your body is there. Then you require the luggage. Luggage also. Already you have come with luggage of prarabdha karma, past life karmas. Already you have certain vasana, certain desire, certain personality. Everything is there in that suitcase. But you won't stop at that, Swami said. You come with a suitcase, then you suddenly start thinking, oh, in Puttaparthi, this is again old Puttaparthi. Now everything is available better than here. Oh, ali Puttaparthiki pote coffee pudi ledu, sambar pudi kavala, rasam powder kavala. You need sambar powder, you need rasam powder, you need coffee pudi. Matchbox, anni kaval. So, you already have some luggage. Into that suitcase, you start adding coffee powder, sambar powder, this powder, that powder. You start. What is that? Desires, attachment, anni veskuntunna coffee pudi, aa pudi, pudi, all the desires, attachments, all the qualities, everything you are making. Chusko, nee suitcase baru aipotu undi. Swami says your suitcase is becoming heavy. As it is, if you have to go in the bullock cart with this heavy suitcase, it's going to take more time. So suitcase is heavy, you are ready to go. But yet, the yearning is there. You want to go. Yearning is there. Because why? That seed of faith God has planted from past janmas. So you want to go. So you start. Sorry, then you think, and he smacks me because I am always chatterbox, right? So he says, Geetha Mogate ekkada velutundi. Where will Geethamma go alone? She wants friends. So friends kaval. Anta dooram maatladukunda ela velutundi. So far, without talking, how will she go? So she wants friends. Then what do? You add satsangamu, dussangamu, anta. So you will take bad company, good company, mediocre company, middle type of company, whatever, attachments, family, husband, wife, friends, relatives, all this they become your companion. So finally you leave Bangalore with the suitcase and this vehicle and all these family members and relatives and friends and attachments. You start going. As you go, one of them, we don't know, Satsanga is also there, Dussanga is also there, mixed company is also there. Somebody will say, oh, we are starting at 6:30 in the morning. Swami's darshan is 5 p.m. Anyway, we are not going to make it for morning darshan. Because those days journey was long, not so fast. Anyway, we won't make it for morning darshan, evening darshan. So, why don't we stop in Lepakshi? So the ladies are there, no? Lepakshi is known for very nice saris. Swami says, in Lepakshi you get very nice cotton printed saris. Akkad potam land. And Virupaksha temple on this Lepakshi, Shiva temple is there. Saris are there, let us go. So one person will put the thought, you see the company. Instead of going straight, Chakkani Raja Margamu, instead of going straight royal path, one detour you take. Lepakshi. There what happens? You see the temple also. Why? Because sattvic quality is there. You go to the temple. After that you come out, buy sari, colorful bangles. So these are all. Swami knew exactly what was available in Lepakshi. We have done all this before, while going to Puttaparthi before. So he is telling you buy bangles and all. So Lepakshi, everything. Then suddenly somebody in that group will say, hey, it's becoming late. We will be late for darshan. Hurry up, you ladies. How long you are taking? Again, everybody gets start going. Somebody will say, still there is lot of time. Stop in Penakonda bus station. Baga dosa chiktundi, Swami says. Near the bus stand, you will get very good masala dosa. We can eat and go. Because once you go to Puttaparthi, nothing is available. No Punjabi canteen, no South Indian canteen, North Indian canteen, Sai Towers, nothing is there in those days. So you better eat nicely now itself. Because next 2 days only rasam. So, masala dosa, somebody says, stop in Penakonda. So you go. You look how Swami says, look at the senses. One's eyes are saying, let us look at Shiva. Ears are listening. Somebody is saying, let us buy saris. Third party is saying, let us try it on. Then somebody is saying, let us eat. The tongue is saying, let us eat masala dosa. All the senses, they are leading you here and there. Anyway, you come to Penukonda, eat your masala dosa, you go. While you are going, it was so funny, the way Swami was telling the places. One more doubting Thomas will be there in that group, who has just come along for the fun of it. He doesn't want to see Sai Baba or anybody. So many people are having a nice field trip, let me also go. One will be there. He will say, hey, this is not the road to Puttaparthi. I say, you missed the exit sign. There itself we should have taken. Let us go. I clearly saw Puttaparthi board. And that fellow, he will direct you to Palasamudram, Swami says. You are now detouring Palasamudram. I was thinking, no GPS, no global positioning system. That is why, God positioning system, if we have, we would have gone straight. But we are following this GPS. Somebody is telling, go there. You start going towards Palasamudram because some fellow, then you ask somebody, is this the way to Palasamudram? He will say yes. Some fellow who knows nothing, he will tell you, you will go. And you will arrive in Palasamudram and you are asking which side we should turn to go to Puttaparthi, Prashanti Nilayam. One villager will say, there is no Prashanti Nilayam, no Satya Sai Baba here, nothing like that. This road does not go to Puttaparthi. You have already gone 30 kilometers on the wrong road. You better go back to your original road and continue the journey. There is no Prashanti Nilayam, Puttaparthi, Satya Sai. So 30 kilometers in the wrong direction, looking for some other guru, somebody you have gone looking for, halt there, turn around, come back. Still yearning is there. I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. So that yearning is still there. You're back to the main road, start going, and as you're going, so many problems have come. This is a journey of life. So many problems come in the life. And that fellow near Penukonda gate, I don't know, Sai Shravan may remember, near Penukonda, railway station, when we were going to Puttaparthi, there used to be a railway gate. The train was only coming once a day there. But that fellow used to keep the gate closed all the time. This Penukonda gate fellow was very famous. No toll and all that, but he was our toll. If you give him money, he will open the gate. If you don't give him money, you can't go. And it's a one-lane road. You can't go anywhere. Big gate, this thing. So Swami says, Vadunnadu kada Penukonda gate. He knows you are coming. He has kept the gate closed. All the problems of life, he is collecting toll. Because he knows now Dasara is coming, Sai Baba is here, people will come. So he is collecting toll, Chitraguptudu anta lekkal pedutuntadu. The Chitragupta there, he is keeping all the accounts of your good thoughts, bad thoughts, everything. He is giving you toll. So finally you pay the toll also, because you pay and you are going. And as you go, finally from a distance, Prashanti Nilayamu gate. That time there was no stupa and all that. Prashanti Nilayamu. As you come inside, Swami says, you have your luggage, you have your hold all. I don't know, these young people don't know what hold all means. Indian people will know. Hold all means we used to keep everything, all our bedding and roll it. It's like a sleeping bag basically. Sleeping bag. Hold all, suitcase, bhojanamu, all this carrier, everything. You have entered the gate and somewhere somebody says, oh, Swamachad. Somebody will shout, Swami is coming. Music will start. And those of you who have been yearning to come here, suddenly you will forget. This luggage is forgotten. Hold all is forgotten. Your companions are forgotten. You run across the sand and you go and sit down, and from a distance, you see Swami in that orange robe. You see his hair from a distance. You can see my hair from a distance itself. I start coming, and as I come, Anandashral, your eyes are filled with joyous tears. And as I come near, you have closed your eyes. After this long journey, by the time I come near you, you have closed your eyes. And Eppudochavu? I'm asking you, Eppudochavu? When did you come? You are unable to answer. Your throat has closed. Your eyes are filled with tears. You are completely closed your eyes. And your ears are just listening, Shravanam. You're just listening. And then slowly you say, Ippude vachanu Swami, ippude vachanu. Chala santosham, I say. And I move on. You had closed your eyes. I pat you on your back. What is that? And then you open your eyes and you realize, oh, what happened to my relatives? What happened to my friends? What happened to my luggage? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, again back to the world. That moment, only one moment when you saw me, your eyes were closed, your thoughts went inward, and there you enjoyed the bliss of having seen me for 1 second at a distance. You didn't even wait for me to come near you. You have enjoyed my presence within you. Ade kada Paramanandamu? Is that not Paramanandam? That is the Paramanandam. And this is the prasthana that we all have to do. Ayyo, Swami, okka sekanda. Only 1 second we have enjoyed that Paramananda. In 1 minute, after all this long journey of life, with the troubles, with the luggage, with the coffee pudi, with the sambar powder, everything. One second. Adi, that Paramananda, you have to extend it in every moment. Then it becomes true bliss. Ade kada nenu andichedaniki vachanu. I have come to give that, is it not? So that you enjoy that Paramananda every moment of your life. Every moment, Uncle Subbarao used to sing that beautiful bhajan. Every moment of your life, please be with me. That one. Every moment, if we want to enjoy, then for that few minutes, we have to forget all these worldly attachments, all these desires, all this luggage, all this hold all, everything. Forget, and only all your senses go inward, and you have to enjoy that within you. That you have to extend it into every. Is it not possible, Swami? And Kasturi Garu, who was there, idella agala, Swami. He said in Kannada, this is not possible, Swami. It is possible through the 3 paths of Namasmarana, Karma Yoga, through Namasmarana, Bhakti Yoga, through Karma Yoga, through service to humanity, and through Jnana Marga. You have to know first that there is a Prashanti Nilayam. You have to attend the study circle first to know there is a Satya Sai Baba before you can take that journey. So you need the Jnana Marga, you need the path of service, and you need the path of devotion. All 3 paths will finally merge in Prashanti Nilayam. That is where you get the Prashanti, Swami said. And how am I doing for time? What time did I start? I didn't see the time. So he said, and this was such a beautiful Swami's discourse, mini discourse, as to how to understand this ananda that he has come to give us, and what to do, what path to take. He said, you take whichever path you like, whichever you are comfortable, whichever. And of course, he said, Shravanam, listening to the glory of the Lord. That is why he says, even though my glory, it is not possible to describe, even for a short while, you listen to my glory, you listen to the Lord's glory. That is through Shravanam. That's why he said, all the senses have withdrawn. Only your ears are alert when I say, Eppudochavu? When did you come? Your ears are listening. So that path, that Shravanam, listening to Lord's glory, then you open your eyes and you are unable to even speak. All the senses are calm. Only the Ananda you are feeling. So this is that Paramanandake Prasad. Inte kada poi chappu, he said. This is all it is. Go and tell. In Davangere, brought back to reality. I have to go to Davangere. So that is how Swami said, and he promised in his 1947 discourse. I remember that my parents, when I was a young girl, they used to tell me, suddenly, Ishwaramma, she got a letter, her son got a letter, Shesham Raj Garu got a letter, Swami saying, I belong to the world, I'm not your brother anymore, I'm not your son anymore, I don't belong to this family, the whole world is my family. And my aunt and everybody used to say, we felt so bad for Ishwaramma Garu, papam. Chinna pillavadu kada, small boy. Suddenly your child says, I'm not yours anymore. How she must have felt. There, on one hand, they used to feel deep sympathy for her. On the other hand, మంచిదే అయింది లేకపోతే మాకెక్కడ దొరికేవాడు. It's a good thing he told her. Otherwise, where would we have got him? This is how I remember my aunts and my parents discussing Swami's Avatar Declaration Day. There was a moment where they understood how his small family may have felt. At the same time, they were so grateful that he had called them to him. So this was the Paramananda that Swami says that we must travel towards, that we should try. And then when we have seen it, and we all have in one way or the other, otherwise we wouldn't be here. If we have not experienced even that one moment of joy, we would not be here. We are all here. But how to extend it? How to extend this? That is what Kasturi Garu in that room said. Idu agalla Swami, he said in Kannada. This is not possible, Swami. How can we extend this joy of being in your presence all the time when you are not here? Now he's not here. How is that possible? So this is one last thing I will say. I want to say this. Swami has given answer to that also. You know, when we were kids, and these children may, some of them are here, they may say, you know how when we are all sitting this Manasa Bhajare, he sang for this declaration. In the Akanda Bhajan, the minute somebody says Manasa Bhajare, oh my goodness, go on and on, Manasa Bhajare, we will say. And not only that, the people who have come late in the Akanda Bhajan don't know that Manasa Bhajare has been sung 4 times. They will sing the 8th time, Manasa Bhajare again. So this goes on, right? Manasa Bhajare, Sai Bhajana Bina, oh my God. And then we will tell the devotional, poor thing, Bharti devotional coordinator, you pleasure, put a list of what they have sung. I say, how many times to listen to Manasa Bhajare? Imagine we are saying this. Imagine Swami's fate. He is listening from not only our center, but all over the world, same Manasa Bhajare 1 million times. So if he is not divine, it is not possible. We are already 3 times, we are fed up. So when we were children, this Manasa Bhajare was a big problem for us. When we were kids, this Akanda Bhajan, you know, somebody, and that too somebody who doesn't know how to sing will start that. I remember my cousins and they go, yo, Manasa Bhajan. And that too we know specific people who love to sing, but they don't know how to sing. They will only sing this Manasa Bhajare. Oh, they started, I say, and that time only we'll feel thirsty. We want to go to the bathroom or something like that. We will go out. As children, this Manasa Bhajare was going on. And in the middle of this mess, this Swami introduced one song. S. Kumar and all, they may know. This song, you know, Sai, Sai, Sayanare, Sarvamu Brahmamu Mayamanare. Oh my God, this is one, Jen, I think Swami only composed this. All the lines are in the same tune. And it has got some 7 lines or 10 lines. That somehow Swami started. And all the time people learned this, whether it is Ramu Lakshmana, who were great singers from Chennai, anybody, because Swami's composed it, they will sing this. Oh my God, this Swami is not at all creative. You know, why he composed this song? Why he composed this song? It is very boring for us. We think that Akanda Bhajan and all is for our entertainment, right? We have forgotten that this is this Paramananda ke Prasthana and all forgotten. So this Sai, Sai, Sayanare, I heard all the time in my childhood. And then we were grumbling, my cousins and I. One day Swami got very upset with us in Brindavan, in Puttaparthi, 69 or 70, something like that. Hey, Dunna Potla, Randi. He says, you buffaloes, all of you come here, he called us. So we all went and stood near that Tulsi. For those of you who are familiar with Puttaparthi, that Tulsi plant is there where the ladies enter the mandir. He called us a Dunna Potla. He said, we know we have done something. We have commented on somebody or something we have done. Oh, what did we do, Swami? Nobody is opening their mouth. You don't like my composition, Sai, Sai, Sayanare? Today evening, some new devotees are coming. You people will sing that. Tomorrow morning, they will want to learn. You have to teach them. Oh my God, after that for 5 days, Sai, Sai, Sayanare, Sarvamu Brahmamu Mayamanare, this bhajan. We sang and sang and sang, and we all took a oath after this time, we will never sing this again, this Sai, Sai. So many years went back and we also forgot, and thankfully after that, Swami never asked us also. And the Sai, Sayanare, somebody will be singing somewhere. And we will find fault with that. Oh, they told the wrong words. They told instead of Mahimalo, they say Bhajanalo and all. We will tell that. Then in 2000 or 2001, I think I was in Puttaparthi. Swami called me for an interview. So many years, this is in 1972, 1916, that time frame. Sometime this has happened. Then, and that too, this group of people that Swami told us to teach them also next day, they don't know how to sing. So we have to teach them. And they are all from Tamil Nadu. And they don't know Telugu. Oh, my goodness, they mispronounce the words. Oh, not like that. Rakshasa Gunam, something else they will tell. Somehow we taught them, and then Swami scolded us at dinner time. Hopeless ga chappichinnaru, anta tappulu chaptunnaru. You taught them badly, they are making all mistakes. He is scolding. In those days, Swami, when he used to have dinner, that Konamma and all used to serve Swami, my mother and all my aunts and all used to serve Swami. And then after dinner is over, he would come near the staircase. We are all standing on the staircase. He would call us one by one and give Pad Namaskaram at that time. So usually that time either we will get scoldings or we will get Pad Namaskar. One of the two things usually, end of the day. So we are all saying, hopeless, you have taught it so badly. Those people are making so many mistakes. Go and teach for 3 more days. So this went on anyway. So in 2001, he called me for an interview. And in that group, can you believe this one person from that time has called in the interview? Swami has called one Tamilian gentleman in that group. And we are sitting, and Swami suddenly turns to him and he says, Yenna, Sai Anare Varada? Ayyo, ille Swami, enak varada, I don't know, Swami. Do you know? Swami is asking that man. No, Swami, marandu poitru, I've forgotten, Swami. So many. இவ்வளவுதான் உங்களுக்கெல்லாம் சொன்ன கொடுத்தது. This one only taught you people. He's pointing. I'm like, how? I was a kid then. My cousins were there. How Swami is putting me in this very uncomfortable situation? Then that man is looking at me as though I did something. Then Swami says, see, you taught this fellow. He didn't learn then also. You teach now. Oh, I have forgotten that song, Swami. Please, I cannot do Sai Nare again. Enduko ochita marchipayava? So that's the wrong thing. Swami's composition you have forgotten, he is asking. I remember few lines, Swami. I don't remember all the lines. Chappu, I will help you. Can you imagine in the interview room, 12, 13 people are there. This Tamilian gentleman is there. I am there. My sons are there. Everybody is looking at me. I can't remember. That too, when Swami is asking, more memory loss out of tension. Then I started. I'm a bad singer, but I will show you why we all were commenting. It goes like this. Sai, Sayanare, Sarvamu Brahmamu Mayamanare, Baba Nare, Bhakti to Mahimalo Palgunare, Rama Ramanare, Rakshasa Gunamulo Pommanare, Krishna Anare, Kashtamulanu Pogottu Hare, Shiva Shivayanare, Shiva Keshavulu Samamanare, Hari Anare, Atma Ramuni Mayamanare, Sai. So this is the song. All the same tune. So Sai, and I'll tell the meaning. Sarvamu Brahmamu Mayamanare. This Sai, if you say the name of Sai, path of Namasmarana, Sarvamu Brahmamu Mayamanare. When you keep doing that Namasmarana, whichever name you like, everything. Swami started to tell the meaning. He said, you tell the meaning. I said, if you say Sai, everything in the world will be Sai. This was the meaning I gave. Swami said, no. Keep repeating any Lord's name of your liking, then everything in the universe will become Sai or will become Jesus, will become Allah, whatever. Sarvamu Brahmamu Mayamanare. It will all become one and only Sai or God. బాబా 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 అనరే భక్తితో మహిమలో పాల్గొనరే. బాబా బాబా, you keep saying the name of Baba and participate with bhakti in the mahimas. Now they sing bhajanalo palgonare. Actually Swami composed as mahimalo palgonare. You participate in the mahima. So I say again, chappo. So Swami, if you say Baba, the name of Baba, then you can see all the miracles. Swami said, no, that is not seeing all the miracles, listening all the miracles. No, every activity that you do should become a mahima. It should become a miracle, because you are taking Sai's name and you are doing it. Every action, that is the path of seva, he said. Because when you do seva in Swami's name, and when you repeat Swami's name, everything will become Brahmamayam, and everything will become a mahima, a miracle. Baba, Baba, Babanare, Bhaktito, Mahimalo, Palgonare, participate. When the center has activities, when they have activities of service, participate in that in some way, whatever your capacity. Then Rama, Rama, Rama anare, Rakshasa Gunamulu Pommanare. When you are doing this, when you are doing seva, when you are doing Sai Sai Namasmarana, and when you are saying Rama, Rama, then what happens? All the Rakshasa qualities, by this point Swami took over, all the Rakshasa qualities within you, demonic qualities within you will go away. Then what happens? You are saying Krishna, Krishna, Krishnanare, Kashtamulanu pogottu hare. Oh Krishna, remove all my problems. Swami said, no, remove all the obstacles that are on your journey, which is impeding your journey to God. Those are the custom. These worldly custom, you have brought the suitcase with you. You have to wear the clothes. Once he told me, whatever clothes you pack in your suitcase, Bangaru, you only have to wear it. Nobody can fit into it. Size will not suit. This is what Swami says. Sizes will not. What you brought, you have to. So, Kashtamulanu Pogotar is not these worldly problems. No. It is the problems that you face when you want to reach that Paramananda. Somebody will say, go to Lepakshi, go to Penukonda, go to Palpu. All those obstacles. Kashtamulanu Poguttu Hare. Then, Shiva, 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 Shivayanare, Shiva Keshavalu Samamanare. What does that mean? Keep on chanting the name of Shiva. What happens? Shiva and Keshava, Hari, Vishnu and Shiva, all becomes one. Not the two deities. Everybody in front of you is a Shiva or a Keshava. They all become one with you. You become one with them. They are all yours. Why? Because no Rakshasa qualities within you. That is why. And you are doing seva. He has removed all the obstacles. You have gone forward in your spiritual life. So everybody becomes yours. Shiva Keshavalu Sam. Then what happens? Hari, 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 Hari Anare, Atma Ramuni Mayamanare. Then what? You see the Atma Rama. He is within everybody. It doesn't matter who it is. That Atma Rama you see. So that is the way to elongate, to extend that Paramanandake. That day also Swami said, that is how you get Paramananda. So that was the momentous declaration of Swami's in 1947. I have come to give you Paramananda. Not this ordinary worldly happiness, but something that you can forever enjoy. Only you have to take the correct path that is suitable for you. Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. Thank you.